architecture. And what actually made Megasthenes astonishing is the palace, because the entire palace is actually carved out of wood. And third point that you learn in this slide is, so these Mauryans had a lot of impact of Persians and as well as Greeks architecture. So this is what actually the first paragraph of our lesson talks about. Right. Can you tell me what is the meaning of imbibing? Imbibing means what? Yeah, take, absorb. So they absorbed the influence. They had the influence of Persians and as well as Greeks. So now you learn new word that is imbibe. Right. Next here. So there were significant achievements in the field of architecture during Ashoka's reign. We all know about this person, Ashoka, because he's very famous for the tree plantation, and he's the person who planted the trees a lot and encouraged us to plant the trees. So because he noticed the importance of greenery, so that is the reason he started encouraging each and every person to plant the trees. And even if you wanted to see the advancements of architecture, so we have to hit back to this one. We have to get back to the Ashoka's time. So between 268 and 232 he lived before Christ. So during that period, during that time, we can see the new advancements in architecture, just like what we have, the new advancements in our technology, and even the mobile phone that we are actually using, and even as you are witnessing here, what do you call this, Zoom classes, or no micro software teams, or and you have WebEx, and how all this came into existence, because there are some advancements, just like after Mauryan period. So we can experience the advancement levels of architecture during this Ashoka's reign. Let's see what actually happened, what kind of advancements that we have at the time of Ashoka. During the reign of Ashoka, many monolithic stone pillars were erected on which teachings of Dhamma inscribed. This is what they're actually talking about. See here, what happened here during the reign of Ashoka? Monolithics. So mono means what? A single. Monolithic stone means here a large single stone. So you're going to have only one single large stone. So there they're going to sculpt certain things. So, and not only that. So whenever they turning these monolithic pillars into a picture, they are going to write. Are we going to find the teachings of Dhamma? Dhamma is nothing but here the realization of a person's sufferings and rebirths. Everything will be inscribed. Something they're going to write, and these dhammas were actually no inscribed when it comes to these monolithic stone pillars. So the speciality of these monolithic pillars, they are not only going to turn into beautiful picture, beautiful. They're not only going to turn beautifully, but also they consist of some information, just like Dhamma. And next one, the highly polished pillars with animal figures adorning the top. So called, the top is actually called here capitals, are unique and remarkable. So most of the things what we get amazed on seeing to that is here the highly polished pillars with animal figures. And till then they started doing with human faces. But at the time of Ashoka, so people, these architects started making, started converting these pillars. Even they're actually putting some animal figures in order to attract the people, or in order to bring the beautiness to that pillar. And next, the lion capital of the Sarnath pillar has been accepted as emblem of the Indian Republic. So you're seeing here. So this is also came into existence at the time of Ashoka. So this is what actually called this one, actually we consider this one as emblem of our India. And if you observe, we have four lines here, and each pillar So here we can see four of them here actually in the picture, but originally they are separate. They are all actually made separately. So each pillar actually weighs around 50 tons. So not 50 kgs, my dear, nearly 50 tons, I guess, if I'm not mistaken, 5,000 kgs. And followed by the height of these pillars are about 50 feet high. It is, I wanted to tell you something here. It is not 50 feet. And we the people have this habit saying whenever we see something like this, we say 50 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet like this. It is not 20 feet, 30 feet, Sama. This is how we have to say. It is 50 feet, 1 feet, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, or 50 feet, 500 feet, or 600 feet, whatever it may be. So we should not say like that. And why should we tell like this? I'll tell you when we actually deal with the grammar. Yeah. So in this slide, we actually learn about the Ashoka's reign. So what kind of advancements that actually took in the place of at the time of Ashoka. The first thing is here, the main concept that we discussed here. Monolithic stone pillars were actually came into existence, and where these monolithic pillars, whenever you happen to see them, you're going to find the teachings of Dhamma. So they were actually inscribed. Inscribed means written. Inscribed means write. So they are actually written on these monolithic pillars. And mostly the second important thing, the point that you have to understand is here, they are highly polished pillars. They're not just like, no, they're not the regular stones. They are highly polished pillars. And fourth one is here, we consider one of the pillars as our emblem, that is the lion capital of Sarnath, a Sarnath pillar. So we consider this one is actually as our Indian emblem. So these are the things that we actually have when it comes to the paragraph 2. And next here, the stupas of Sanchi and Sarnath are symbols of the achievements of Mauryan architecture. The stupas. So the stupas that you are seeing here, these are the symbols of achievement of Mauryan architecture. You just witness this one, and you see how they actually constructed. And if you observe here, see you can see the way they constructed, and these rounds and this everything. And when it comes to this down here, so they have a leaf type construction. So all these things are actually standing for the Mauryans architecture symbol. No stands. And next thing, the gateways of the Sanchi Stupa, the beautiful sculptures depicting scenes from the Jataka stories, bear testimony to the skill and aesthetic sense of the artisans. And if you're observing here, they are the one who are actually now representing. Depicting is nothing but here representing of what? The Jataka stories. What are these Jataka stories? Why are they actually now describing or depicting? So here, so this is the entrance gate, and here they actually inscribed these Jataka stories. So once we approach this one, or when we go to there, we can find these Jataka stories which are written over here. See here, what are these Jataka stories? What they actually talk about? These Jataka stories are actually talk about now the birth history of Buddha. So Buddha is a person. They actually talk about more about his birth, and as well as the things that he has done. And I want to tell you something here. Buddha is not a god, so I don't understand why people worshiping him, because he's the person who told once that even I am searching for the light, even I am searching for the truth. A god never search for truth. A god never search for light. Rather, he shows. He is not a god, and most of the people are actually going after and worshiping Buddha as god, but this is not. Yeah. So the aesthetic sense is nothing but here. That is the appearance sense of. Artisans means what? Artisans are nothing but these craftsmen. Craftsmen are called as artisans. So the gateways of Sanchi Stupa, and the way they designed. So all these are actually standing for the symbols of Mauryan architecture. And whenever you approach, whenever you see these Sanchi Stupa, whenever you happen to go there, you're going to find the Jataka stories which are actually written at the entrance gate of that. So you are seeing here in this on the screen. So you can experience. So what is these Jataka stories are actually all about the Buddha's birth history. And next one, the blending of Greek and Indian art subsequently led to the development of Gandhara art. So here, what happened here, because of the blending of Greek and Indian art, that actually led to the development of new style, that is, or new art, that is Gandhara art. So the new art actually came into existence because of this blending of Greek and Indian art. And next here, the other schools of art and architecture were indigenous Mathura school and Amravati school, and followed by two more schools actually came into existence for exclusively for architecture. They are Mathura school and as well as Amravati school. So these Mathura schools and Amravati schools architecture is completely different. You take it for granted, they're going to have a different styles that they followed. And if I'm not mistaken, if you take any idol, we people normally make God's idols. So whenever we see that idol, we feel as if we are worshipping to that God. So we feel that God actually before us, and we are talking to Him, and we are trying to offer the things which we actually brought all the way from home. This is how actually things would go. This is how things actually happens. And we the people who supposed to understand this Mathura school and Amravati school actually made the idols like that. So, so because of these, the blending of Greek and Indian art, the new art actually came into existence. That is Gandhara art, and also the new two more schools actually came into limelight. There are Mathura school, and another one is Amaravati school. Let's see what are those. So in this slide, we actually came to know that the examples are the witnesses for the Mauryan architecture. One is Sanchi Stupa, mainly the Sanchi and Sarnath. The first one that you are seeing here, yeah, this one. This one is a Sanchi Stupa, and second one is here the Sarnath. So at the gate of this one, so you're going to find the Jataka stories over here. So don't get confused in the exam. In the examination, if they ask you to write about what are the Jataka stories, don't or if they give you this like a fill in the blanks like question, and don't get confused. Jataka stories are nothing but uh, which talks about the birth history of Buddha. That is what you have to say. And later, two schools and one art came into existence. That is Gandhara art. So how did Gandhara art come into existence? It is a blending of Greek and Indian art. That is how it actually came into existence. And next one is here. So I'm seeing after seeing this Gandhara art, two more arts came into existence. They are Mathura School of Art, and second one is Amravati School of Art. This is what actually the third slide explains about. Yeah, here you're going to witness. This one actually talks about Mathura School of Art, and the second one actually talks about Amravati School of Art. Let's see how they're actually going after. A large number of statues of Buddha were built by the artisans of these schools, especially after the 1st century AD, under the influence of Kushanas. And if you're observing here, so I told you we had a lot of impact of Ashoka's reign. So most of the time, these people, artisans are nothing but these craftsmen are preferred to make the statues of Buddha. So you're seeing here, so here's the one, Buddha. So they actually started doing the statues of Buddha, especially when it comes to after the 1st century AD. After 100 years, onwards, they started making the statues of Buddha. So who actually made them to go after like this? Because they had the influence of Krishnas. Krishnas are the persons. Krishnas are nothing but no. It might be heard of this king who Kanishka. Kanishka belongs to this tribe, to this region, to these people. So they actually gave a lot of support in order to make the statues of Buddha. So in the year, in the first year, in the first sorry, in the first century, they had a lot of scope to make the statues, especially when it comes to Buddha. And next, under the Gandhara school of art, lifelike statues of Buddha and Bodhisattvas were made in the likeness of Greek gods. And do understand the second one, second point. Under the Gandhara school of art, lifelike statues of Buddha. See here, if you observe, note this point: statues of Buddha, lifelike statues of Buddha and Bodhisattvas. And if I'm not mistaken, Buddha, see here, when you're seeing the face of this Buddha, you can actually feel that the real person sitting there and he is meditating. He is meditating something. And that is how the speciality of this Gandhara art is just that. We feel like the person literally sat there and meditating something. We be having that kind of feeling. And the bodhisattvas are also made. Bodhisattvas are nothing but it is a sense of a person's perfect knowledge. That is what actually talks about. And how these things are actually made, how this Gandhara art will be turned into. So Greek gods are actually seems to be like this. The same architecture what they have followed there in Greek, they followed the same thing in Greek when it comes to Gandhara art. So we have to remember that. See here, Gandhara, the specialty of this Gandhara art, they are just made like lifelike statues. So you don't think that there might be a statue, or we might have put a doll, or there might be an idol. We don't think like that. We think as if the real Gautam Buddha sat there and meditating something. What kind of feel. This is a kind of feeling that we're going to get on seeing this type of arts. And next, and what are the main qualities of this Gandhara school of art? See here. So not only they sculpt this one, and they also add rich ornaments. Ornaments also will be seen. And here, if you observe, some pictures are here. So these pictures are having no ornaments and costumes and drapery. See here, they have costumes. The costumes you can see here. The costumes also sculpted on these idols. And the drapery is nothing but. Do you have any idea? Drapery means what? Draperies are nothing but curtains. We have window curtains, right? Curtains, and were used to impart physical beauty. See here, we can literally experience how literally feel that when he is meditating, all the people are coming and started worshiping that God. See here, we all going to experience something